I never thought I would be the one to say it, to look into my husband's eyes and tell him I didn't need him anymore. It wasn't a decision I made lightly, and it wasn't something I planned or even imagined I would say. But in that moment, when the weight of everything finally became too much, the words slipped out. "I don't need you," I said, the bitterness in my voice louder than I expected, echoing through our house. Immediately, I saw the hurt in his eyes. His face went pale, his jaw tightened, and for a second the world stopped. He didn't yell. He didn't storm off. He just stared at me, frozen, as if my words had shattered something inside him. And honestly, I felt it too, the instant realization that I had destroyed something I couldn't take back. It had started months earlier, when I first began to feel the distance between us. I wasn't sure exactly when it happened, but one morning I woke up and realized we weren't the same couple we used to be. We'd been through so much together: jobs, moves, the birth of our children, the ups and downs of life. Somewhere along the way, we had stopped being each other's priority. I was always the one trying to make him see it, trying to get him to feel what I felt, to recognize that something had shifted. But every time I tried to talk, he dismissed it with, "We're just going through a phase," or "It'll pass." It didn't pass. The distance grew. The silence between us thickened. No matter how hard I tried to fill it with words, affection, or small acts of love, it never felt like enough. One night, after yet another argument about how much time he was spending at work and how little effort he was making at home, I couldn't hold it in any longer. He'd come home late again, no apology, no explanation. I'd spent the whole evening alone, preparing dinner for the kids, picking up after him, running the house as if it were just me. I snapped. I told him I didn't need him anymore, that I could handle things on my own, that I was better off without him. He was silent for a long moment, then asked, "Is that really how you feel?" I couldn't take it back. I nodded, even though deep down I knew it wasn't true. In that instant, I'd convinced myself I could be strong without him, that maybe I didn't need him to make me whole. He left that night. No big scene, no dramatic fight to justify my words. He quietly packed his things and walked out. I stood in the doorway, unable to move, unsure whether I wanted to stop him or was secretly relieved to see him go. I had pushed him to a breaking point. At the same time, there was a strange sense of freedom, like finally saying the words I'd been holding inside for so long. But as the night stretched on and the house grew quiet, reality settled in. He was gone, and I was left with nothing but the echo of my own voice. The next few days were a blur. I didn't know what to do with myself. I paced the house for hours, staring at his things, the clothes he'd left behind, the empty space in our bed, the family photos on the wall that no longer felt like mine. I called and texted, but he didn't answer. Every time I picked up the phone, pride held me back from apologizing. He needed to know I was sorry, but I couldn't bring myself to say the words. I had built this wall between us, and now I had no idea how to tear it down. Days turned into weeks. I tried to move on by focusing on our children, throwing myself into being a good mother, keeping the home together, and keeping up appearances for the world. But behind closed doors, the truth settled deep in my bones. I had pushed him away. I had said I didn't need him, and now I lived with the consequences. Loneliness began to consume me. I missed him in ways I hadn't expected. His presence in the house, the sound of his laughter, the way he helped with the kids, the small nightly rituals of sitting together and talking about everything and nothing. I realized I'd made him feel invisible, that I'd taken for granted everything he had done for me. He wasn't perfect, but he loved me in a way I hadn't seen until he was gone. I tried to fill the empty space with work, friends, and distractions, but nothing worked. Every happy couple I saw, every song that reminded me of him, hit me like a ton of bricks. I had told him I didn't need him, but the truth was I couldn't breathe without him. I needed him more than I'd ever understood. Weeks later, I finally found the courage to reach out. I sent a simple, honest message. I was wrong. I need you. I'm sorry for everything. I didn't know if he would respond or even consider coming back, but I couldn't live with the silence any longer. I needed to say the words I should have said long ago. He didn't reply right away. Days passed and hope waned. Then one evening I got a call. It was him. My heart raced as I answered. He said, "I've been thinking a lot about what you said, about everything." My throat tightened. I held my breath, waiting for him to tell me it was too late. Instead he said, "I've been doing a lot of thinking, too. I know we need to work on things, but I'm willing to try if you are." Tears filled my eyes. I hadn't expected this. I thought I had lost him for good, pushed him so far there was no coming back. But here he was, still willing to fight for us. In that moment, I realized how much I had taken him for granted. I had pushed him away, thinking I didn't need him, yet he was the one thing I needed most of all. We're still working through things, trying to rebuild what I almost destroyed. It's not easy, and it may never be the same as it once was, but I've learned something through all of this. Love isn't about being right or being the strongest. It's about recognizing your mistakes, admitting when you're wrong, and having the courage to ask for forgiveness.